What is going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. I went and talked about SoFi. SoFi was relentless today. I want to go over some of the current data points, talking what is coming next and everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Always greatly appreciate that. And with that said, let's get right to it. So today it did go up 2.9%. There was a lot of optimism that it was going to break that $10 resistance point, that very strong psychological barrier. But it bounced off of it twice and it kind of retraced back. I'm going to talk on technicals all near the tail end of the video. After hours, it is going down 0.2%, but very little volume to talk on after hours. Throughout the trading day, though, there was 51.57 million shares being traded. 44.2 is the average. There was no PR for SoFi today, so it was largely just following its technicals. There was another 144 form that did come out, which wasn't necessarily the best sign. Still makes you question on what is happening. But Jeremy did sell, or at least put down that he intends on selling 56,000 shares. So once again, I don't know why. And this was another byproduct of him doing that on Friday. So I don't know, something to kind of consider, but I don't feel any insider selling is going to stop the SoFi train, if that makes sense. So I'm going to go over some of the data points, starting off with options. So $14 million in calls being purchased versus 3.28 million in puts. So people are very much still optimistic when it comes down to SoFi. Of the call options that was purchased, there's a large anticipation that it is going to be above $10 by the end of this week, which is basically something I've been saying for the greater part of, I guess, the last week, that $10 is where it is at. Looking at puts, though, it is anticipated to be sub $9. So kind of extremes. People are anticipating a sell-off, maybe as a result of GDP numbers. Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. But just be aware, if SoFi does close above $10 by the end of this Friday, you are going to see a lot at that $10 strike price be exercised, meaning market makers are going to have to cover that. So you might see, as a result, a nice bump up in the stock price. Like I mentioned, 51 million shares were traded today. These are some of the transactions that did occur on the secondary market above $100,000. So big money was very much getting into SoFi today. So that's generally a very good sign. There was no recent analyst ratings, no updates for the upcoming Q4 earnings from estimates from analysts. So it's been relatively quiet from that. When it comes to shorts, though, I'll give you a quick overview of what they did. So today, I think they were finally giving up, maybe, because they did return 561,000 shares. 15.29% of the free float is being shorted. 136.84 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost to borrow average is very low, so 0.46%, a little low in comparison to even yesterday. And you do see some signs of manipulation. So cost to borrow minimum is negative 0.2%, meaning there is a broker out there physically paying people to short SoFi, as weird as that is. So when it comes down to the technicals, today was just merely following its technicals, similar to yesterday. And normally, whenever there's a strong resistance or a psychological resistance point, if it bounces off of it, it consolidates and tries again. So this is exactly what did happen right here. So it bounced off of that very strong resistance point, consolidated, and it was building up for another run at that $10 mark. So we'll have to watch for that to happen tomorrow. But based on the Elliott wave, I did bring this up over the last couple of videos as well. Based on the Elliott wave, it is projected to be anywhere from 1170 to 1234 in the short term. So a lot of good momentum behind the scenes causing it to go significantly higher. It just needs to get over that little bump at that $10 mark. But then again, I'm not a financial advisor. You guys always do your own due diligence. Based on some of the fib levels, though, after it does get over that $10 resistance, then 1025 is going to be the next point to watch for. Above that is going to be 1102. So with it at $9.94 is between this R1 and the R2. So 977 potentially is going to be that next strong support that you'll want to watch for it to hold. So I don't really feel that's going to be a worry, at least going into tomorrow. The only thing that could really disrupt this momentum with SoFi and a lot of the other growth stocks is GDP numbers, and that is coming out on Thursday. And I even did say that the forecast is around 5.2, which is kind of high, but we'll just have to wait and see how it does come, data point wise. But regardless, I do feel that SoFi is due to have a nice continuation of a rally, at least up until maybe the $11 mark or potentially $10.50, within that range. But that's just my own opinion, of course. Looking right here, number of retail investors have been getting in. So once again, for I guess the greater part of a week and a half, you have seen at the same time institutions and retail buying. That's where you get a massive amount of FOMO when those kind of instances do occur. So kind of interesting. A lot of people are finally realizing that SoFi is where to put your money, at least in the short term. Looking at stochastic though, it is at 90. So if it does fail to get above that $10 resistance psychological level once again, then you are going to see a even further pullback based on the technicals. So that is something just to kind of be aware of. So like I mentioned, that 977 mark, you'll want to watch that to hold. So let me know your thoughts on SoFi. Give yourself a shout out. Have you been buying? Have you been selling? Do you think that this is realistic between 1170 and 1234? Or do you think that's too far-fetched, too high? What's your viewpoint? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Always greatly appreciate that. And one final thing, if you do like my channel, want to support the growth, take a look at my memberships, link in the description below, and also the comments. With all that said, I appreciate all of you watching.